Why does New York City keep failing to meet legally required benchmarks meant to make our streets safer? It all began in 2019, when then City Council Speaker Corey Johnson introduced the concept of a Streets Master Plan, which is a 5-year roadmap for the city to expand pedestrian and cyclist safety, reduce car traffic, and speed up buses. This plan would require the Department of Transportation to give yearly updates on the progress that it's made towards these benchmarks. And that progress? Well, it hasn't been that great under Eric Adams. By the end of Eric Adams' first year in office, the Department of Transportation had already told the MTA that it wouldn't be able to fulfill Adams' campaign promise to build 150 miles of new bus lanes over the course of his 4-year term. Things got worse in 2022, after the mayor's budget cuts, remember those, prevented the Department of Transportation from filling staffing roles that are key to hitting the benchmarks that were put out by the master plan. And by 2023, it was clear that Mayor Adams had no real regard for the benchmarks that his Department of Transportation had to meet. And finally, this year, in its update for 2024, the DOT implicitly acknowledged the role that the mayor and the city council played to kneecap progress on meeting the master plan's bike and bus lane benchmarks. Here's one example that we're honestly shocked even made it into the report. The Fordham Road Busway project, which would have sped up trips for 85,000 riders on the second busiest bus route in the entire city, was abandoned after local and elected stakeholder pushback. It is true that there was pushback on the busway from local institutions, like the Botanical Garden and Fordham University, but aren't the tens of thousands of bus riders along that route also stakeholders in this project? Even worse, the call to ditch the Fordham Road plan came from inside the House, City Hall. Pushback, if you will, by a local elected, in this case, the mayor. And if you recall, that same local elected campaigned on expanding the city's network of bus lanes. Oh, how times change. Adams has spent the last 4 years coming up with excuses for why the city shouldn't do one project or another, and the Department of Transportation has been taking the fall for him as they whiff on meeting these benchmarks. But in an increasingly unstable City Hall, the call is coming from inside the House.